made this video on my main channel called Riot broke their fighting game again. Of course, Riot has broke their fighting game a couple times. For example, when Echo and Yasuo were released, or a couple of the, big swings they've taken have really changed their game in pretty drastic ways. Well, Teamfight is the most recent version, and there's no mistake, Teamfight is quite good. But I actually kind of clickbaited people here, because what I did was I argued that, hey, a lot of people are saying this is ban-worthy, right? Leffen, Super Noon, Wawa, Kane, they all thought this fuse was ban-worthy. And I tried to make an argument that, hey, it's too early to tell. This patch has only been out for like 2 days at this point. And later on, they had a team tournament with all the best duos in the world, including Sonic Fox and Inzem. And what a surprise, the team that won wasn't even playing Teamfight. In fact, multiple teams at that event didn't use Teamfight, they used Freestyle. And Freestyle has been the most dominant fuse by far throughout the history of 2xKO. So I thought we're in a pretty good situation. It's gonna be like in flux, and like we're gonna see, is freestyle or Teamfight really better, and like can the freestyle solos beat the Teamfight players? I thought that was a really cool storyline. And I personally, thinking about going to Evo, do I want to enter as a duo and play Teamfight? Or do I want to enter as a solo? Like, I think these are really cool questions to ask. I just really like that dynamic of there being more than one viable fuse, because again, at Evo Japan, all top 8 out of 8 were playing freestyle. Well, it turns out the Twitter complaining got to Riot, and I'm returning the Doom Clock because this shit literally has me pissed off. I think it's cool that Riot is listening to feedback. That being said, I think the 2xKO community is one of the whiniest communities I've ever seen in my fucking life, bro. There's people saying they're gonna quit the game. There's people saying they're gonna, like, this game is a party game. Literally day one. I've never seen this in any other game. This is good, but like, it's not winning tournament. Like, literally, we had a duo only tournament. Duos is not considered to be as strong as solo, and the team that won that wasn't even playing Teamfight, and we're saying this is like SSSSS Giga broke tier? Like, come on, it still hasn't even been a week. It has been, actually, no way, I guess it's been one official week at this point. I take that back. And they murdered this shit. We got people like Sonic Fox saying this is the weakest fuse now in the game. Let's talk about what they did and how I think this fuse did need a little bit of adjustment, because I do think it was potentially the strongest fuse. But broken SSSS tier, like they murdered this shit. All right, let's just look. Offensive adjustments. Teamfight can now spend up to 6 bars when used. That sounds, I'm like, ooh, cool, they buffed it. No, this is a huge self nerf, right? So you're forced to spend all your meter, which means you can't loop Teamfight sequences. So a lot of the cheapest sequences, you would do a combo, you activate Teamfight, that 7 seconds would go. It used to be 7 seconds, now it's 5 seconds. So even that is just a huge reduction. Like, going from 7 seconds to 5 seconds is what, like a 30% duration reduction? Quick maths, probably not the exact number. That's already a massive nerf. If that's all they changed, a 30% reduction, that's a massive nerf. Like to me, you've already took a huge ass swing. Like, imagine if Yasuo did 30% less damage. Like, the character probably dropped down a tier. Imagine if Freestyle had 30% longer cooldown. It would probably go down a tier. So the fact that we're changing something by 30% is huge. Imagine if you gave a character 30% more health. 30% is massive. So just the fact that you're changing that, there's already like, there's 6 other changes. 6 other big nerfs, right? Besides the duration, which, okay, like if that's what you want to change, I didn't think that was the issue, but sure. You now force to spend bar, which means you can no longer loop the sequences, right? And every situation is reduced by 2 bars, which means you also, like, let's say I'm at 4 bars and I want to like cash out on super, I'm guaranteed to lose access to parry at least on one of my champs, right? I'm guaranteed to lose access to super or at least on one of my champs, where before you could like, determine, hey, do I want to spend Teamfight early or did I want to spend Teamfight later? Now it's like you really want to bias early, because if you do it later, you're gonna get this 10-second activation. That's kind of cringe, right? Meter cost is still paid by assist. Teamfight will always activate the highest level possible. You literally can't choose, which I think is extremely dumb. Teamfight now has 12 frames of recovery, up from 5. So before, like, you used to be able to pop in neutral, you could pop on defense. I don't think I think this is the biggest load of like bullshit I've ever seen. Performing a team fight in the parry was too strong as a defensive option. I haven't seen that once in the match. I watched the duos tournament. No one did that. It's like, in theory, you could do it, but like they would have to be swinging before the flash and not being hit in those 5 frames. So it's like a very, very, very bad version of tag parry that's like kind of niche. It could technically happen. Props awareness of like making that, but like it was not good defensively. The meta was you only pop it on Oki or during offense. Now it's going to be even more so. It's going to be basically useless in neutral, because if I pop this in neutral, I'm just getting locked like immediately. So now you're, instead of like having some defensive and neutral viability, which again most top teamfight players weren't doing, they were using it as a win more. Now it's only win more. Like there's no reason to ever pop it on anything but offense now, which is like you're reducing the versatility instead of reducing the peak, which I don't like that. Yeah, so you can still do combos, you can still do offense. I can still do something like VS1 into team fight, right? That's still all gonna be really strong, but you reduce the versatility, which is like kind of mad. Not to mention like a lot of block strings. You could like do true block string. Now you can't. Maybe that's an okay change. I personally don't like it. Again, I think this is already such a huge swing, right? Defensive options. Team fight champs can no longer block or parry opponent's break reaction. The way I interpreted this, I thought that it just meant your partner cannot block assist. I think that's a good change, right? Like the partner shouldn't be able to block assist. It should be based on what the point character's doing, right? I was so certain this was the case that when Sonic Fox quote retweeted this and said, I'm not a big fan of the break activation stuff, the point should at least be able to guard it. I was like, no, that's stupid. Like why would they do this? Like I interpreted, and Sage also interpreted that the point character could still block. And then Yohosi replies, no, neither can block burst. If the point champion could block burst, then there'd be a similar situation. The assist would do the combo instead, which is like a lot worse. If you have the assist do the combo, it's going to randomly drop after 5 seconds, right? So you have to have a lot better coordination in order to do that, right? It's not nearly as free of a burst bait. But yeah, I think this is absolutely terrible. The whole point of team fight is to get your like win con in the corner, but if you just save burst or when they pop team fight, it's like you're guaranteed out. They wasted 2 bars, like just to, I guess, pop your team fight. Like I don't know, and like I guess you could like use team fight when burst doesn't exist. Again, you already hit it with the 2-second reduction. So that's insane. Successfully parrying a team fighting champion now immediately ends team fight. I actually think this is good. This is probably the other good change. Like I like the idea that like if you guess right on parry, then like at least you're rewarded, right? But this on top of everything else is kind of, I don't know. I do like this change. Like if it were up to me, what I would have done was maybe start with the 5 seconds and maybe implement the parry change and then like see how the meta evolves, right? Oh yeah, and they took another nerf. Hitting a teamfight champion now applies 2.5x more teamfight duration reduction. Yeah, so basically like if you hit the teammate, they're basically gone. So again, the only times you're hitting teammate are neutral, right? Because if I do my offensive sequencing right, you're not going to be hitting my teammate. So this is literally just for like, the way I see it is like, I think teamfight's still going to be okay, but the way they're nerfing this is like, they nerf my ability to go into Duo Finder and teamfight with someone. That's how I feel. But like, if you're really cracked, like you can work around a lot of these issues by having like really strict sequencing, and then maybe that at like a very high level will kind of carry this, right? Which I think is kind of weird that like it felt like they kept a lot of the high level intact, but they reduced like the viability for like lower level players. Because now I think it, like if you're a newer player, like even if you're playing duos, I don't know if I could recommend this fuse. I feel like freestyle is the easier one to use, and it's just, to me, it's too big of a knee-jerk reaction. Like we spent how many patches nerfing Echo and Yasuo? Like we took like 6 patches nerfing Echo, 6 patches nerfing Yasuo. I just like, bro, I don't understand. Like, why do we have to like kill this right off the bat? And like, at least the Echo and Yasuo players had like a few months to like exploit the bullshit. This is literally this, like, within a week. We're not even gonna get to see a tournament because everyone, the five, I would say everyone, like 5 players lobbied to basically get this banned at Combo Breaker. Maybe it probably should have been banned at Combo Breaker because like you couldn't sign up as a duo, but that's like more of a logistical reason, not because of the strength of the actual fuse. But we're not actually gonna get to see how strong Teamfight is, because why would I practice it? Why would I practice Teamfight when Freestyle is arguably just as good right now? And it's gonna get like crazy nerfed. I guess my Doom timer's done. I don't know, man. I'm sure other 2xKO players feel the same way. They're like, I wish they would change the game how I feel. I personally think they took too big of a swing. I also got pretty triggered. I'm not gonna lie. I need to stop going on fucking Twitter on like when I'm offline. I had some free time today. I was just scrolling Twitter. Of course, it's bring up Leffen's page. This post right here, so this is them talking about like his guaranteed resource waste into playing fuseless with 0 counter to play the burst. Like Sonic's basically saying like this is gonna be the worst fuse in the game right now, which I don't know about that, but you know, probably Sidekick or Juggernaut's gonna be worse, but I mean it's still like somewhat bad. Like I actually don't think this is the worst fuse in the game, because playing fuseless with 2 characters is probably better than Sidekick. I'm gonna keep it real. But yeah, I think it's still the best of many teams. You can still outspace burst. How are you outspacing burst? How are you outspacing burst? And Sonic's like, I'm not even joking, I'll pay you $1,000 to you and Noon each to win a major using only team fight while players like Hikari and Bleed are attending. What Leffen says, all I'm seeing is it took like 7 months before Freestyle to become must pick. It took team fight 3 days. First of all, it never became 3 days for team fight to become must pick, bro. Every single person, like top player, is just, they're just playing solo queue again with Freestyle. Like nothing's changed even before this, right? Like if I go to Leffen's stream, I'm just taking a guess. I wasn't actually in Leffen's stream yesterday. Maybe he wasn't streaming because he's in Red Bull. Yeah, interesting must pick, right? Interesting must pick. That's all I'm gonna say. Sharks appreciate the prime. That's not true. While gapped all of us to even France, he's a Freestyle. And the way he paved the way to use tag parry. I will say that like our understanding of the game is a lot better now. 2x assist was also a lot better before, right? So back when remember Echo's 2x assist was like legitimately fucking cracked as shit, right? Like that shit used to go literally full screen, used to be faster. Time winder assist used to be better, right? And we're just worse at the game. My time, I'm in. Like it's not really apples to apples, you know. Either way, I doubt we'll agree. You think Teamfight is a lot weaker than me. I'm not interested in doing this over Twitter. Let's talk at Combo Breakers. They say sure. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, man. I'll end the video. My Doom timer's over. The TLDR of the video is they nerfed Teamfight. Some people think it's still not enough. I personally think it's plenty enough. I think maybe we'll see it. If there was one teamfight at EVO with these changes, I would be very surprised. I would give it 1. If there's more than one teamfight at EVO, I would bet my whole bank account there's only gonna be one teamfight at EVO. Let's put it that way. At EVO top 8. If not 0, right? That being said, who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Teamfight is broke. We'll see. Maybe the devs actually know everything that I don't. But this is just my general take. Is I kind of agree with players like Sonic. I think they took it a little too far. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Peace.